Hey, welcome to Left Night with Kendra Dossie. And here's your host, Kendra Dossie.
Hello, top of the morning to you. How's everything going, Zach?
Oh, good. Is it the morning where you are?
No. I am in New Jersey. It is evening.
Yes. I sometimes it does feel like New Jersey is a whole other time zone away. But
I know, right? Yeah, I feel like it has changed. It's different.
Yes.
But yeah, Zach, I think we have something special that we're doing today. I can introduce it. You can introduce it. It is your field. So
it is. Well, so here's the thing about higher education. It's very expensive, right? Yeah. We can't expect all of the good lessons of higher education to go to the good common people who watch our program. Mm-hmm. So what I've decided that we're going to do this week, not because we don't have other things to talk about, we certainly could talk about other things, and we certainly prepared other things, but we thought that we could talk about something that I did a presentation on in my class last semester.
Hell yeah.
Because it's just, these are the types of things you would learn about if you spent an unbelievable amount of money on a degree. So
we should free education. Education. Well, if Zach, could I talk about your degree?
Sure.
Okay. So Zach is getting a master's in urban planning, which is very important. Or built environment affects a lot of aspects of our lives, and I think there is a lot of good things. There's probably a few numbtots watching. There's probably a few people who cyclists, people who are doing different things. So we're gonna learn today. We're gonna learn about some stuff.
We are. And feel free to get some questions going in the chat if you haven't.
Yes,
if you haven't
definitely.
To know, I probably don't have answers to them, but please contribute to this because we're gonna have a little fun with it.
Hell yeah!
So if we have the PowerPoint ready to go, yes, lawns, they're bad.
They're bad.
Please keep in mind that I did this presentation a month and a half ago, so I do not remember all of the points I made on here. But I'm going to try to approximate what I talked about.
All right.
So here are the numbers on lawns. Over 40 million acres of U.S. land is used by lawns. That is 1.2% of all of the United States. All of these United States is in lawn. That is triple the land use of corn. Another land use that we use too much of. We think all the time about how much there's too much damn corn and everything.
Yeah.
And yet triple of corn, which is usable, is land that is not used at all, which is lawn. It requires 9 billion gallons of water per day per the EPA on our lawns. And they are maintained with fertilizers, pesticides, and gas-powered maintenance tools. So, and I included a picture of a golf course there because a lot of the numbers about lawns do also include golf courses. Which is just important to remember because they share that in common as well as both being. There's not a lot of talk about how lawns are signifiers of whiteness and things like that, but much in the same way of golf courses they are, and that's probably why statisticians group them together.
Yeah, honestly, lawns are from the French. I think the French were the first ones where instead of having gardens with lots of different plants, they're oh, let's have this all the same thing. And that is why we should not listen to anything the French do, other than their cooking and baking. But everything else, it's don't take after them.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
What's this? Oh, yes. So this is the percent of total land area covered by turf grass lawns. If you look, so these are two different charts of the same basic idea. One of them is just by state, and the other one is by area. But what is interesting is that the first one is pretty much just the one on the left is just a population map. The more densely populated ones have more lawns. The less densely populated states have less lawns. So that doesn't give us as much. The second one, you will notice a weird thing where the populated areas have lawns, but then if you look towards the very center of all of those pictures, as you approach the most urbanized areas, the green gets lighter. It goes down as as it gets more populated, it gets darker, and then as you get very populated, it starts to go down again. So that's how the lawns are inextricably linked to suburban sprawl. That's another point worth making. What do we have next? Ooh. Oh, so these are the ecological consequences, obviously, of lawn. You see those cute little rabbits and the cute mice and cute grasshoppers that make up the food chain. This is a sort of complicated. I took like that image from like a children's textbook because it's not really important that you understand the intricacies of it, but it is important to realize that when there are carrots and grasses and grains, it certainly makes a much better food chain than when there is just grasses, as you can see there. And then on the right, we have a very fascinating image that tells us a lot of things, but mostly I'm looking at that very large gray bar in the very center of the graph, which is telling us that 45% of all non-road gasoline emissions in this country of carbon dioxide are coming from gas-powered lawn and garden equipment, which is truly a remarkable number. And in fact, there are many types of motors that are banned for any other use because of their low efficiency with using gas. The only exceptions carved out for these very bad, inefficient motors are for things like weed whackers and hedge trimmers and different stuff like that. So we're willing to sacrifice a lot of emissions in order to keep these lawns very nice.
Yeah. I think one thing. So I did environmental studies in school, and I think one thing is like. One thing people ask is like, what does it matter if like we have a diverse food chain? What does it matter if like, you know, owls have like 2 different things to eat instead of one? Well, like, first of all, grasses in general, like grass is not good at absorbing water. And there's probably going to be a lot of water because of climate change and like a lot of rain, and that results in flooding. But if you have like a place where it's like lots of different types of trees, then you'll absorb more water. The water that's usually used for lawns is like, it's very shallow. All of like the topsoil just runs off, blah, blah, blah. But it's also like the more diverse a food system, like we live in the environment, even though we live in houses. So it's like, yeah, if owls could only eat like mice and then all the mice die and then the owls die and then we're like not ate, and like there's just so many weird consequences. Maybe there'll be like a malaria outbreak because, you know, I don't know. It's complicated. I'm not a biologist, but it is complicated. And it's
I'd say though, if the mice start dying out wherever they are, those owls should move to Alston.
Yes, exactly. My cat Janet encountered so many rodents last night. I took her for a little walk and she just saw so many rodents. She was about to attack them. Cats are like not good for our environment, which is why I have my cat on a leash so she doesn't kill any like fancy birds. But like if she killed a rat, I'm fine with it.
I would say Janet's allowed to kill a fancy bird if she would like. Just don't kill any like
as long as it's not
don't kill like a keystone species or something. Fancy birds usually by definition are not important species.
Okay, if she wants to kill like a pretty looking robin, sure.
Yeah. All right. What do we got next? We got a lot of. So here's some pushback against lawns that has happened in different places. So there's Drought Stick in Nevada enacted a ban on non-functional grass. Now this was not a particularly well done because it pretty much carved out an exception for every single personal lawn that belongs to somebody. The non-functional grass that it really cut out was like highway medians and stuff like that, like, which is not as big of a problem as, you know, somebody living in the middle of the desert and wanting a lush lawn in front of their ugly house in what's Henderson, Nevada, or whatever.
Yeah, wherever it is.
Yeah, that is a much bigger egregious thing but it's a start of realizing it. And then in Colorado, they did an interesting thing where they paid people to get rid of their lawns. If you got rid of your lawn, as you can see, like the picture on the left and then the picture on the right. First of all, I think you can make I know it's bad to make environmental rulings based on aesthetics because you'll get burned. But I think we can objectively say that the one on the right looks just as good or nicer than the one on the left. Yeah. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you want to so here's some lawn alternatives. You can use native plants. Obviously, that makes a huge difference if the plants are native to the area. Ornamental grass, I don't remember what that is.
That's okay.
But it is something that you can, if you are a lawn owner watching this now, you can do that research yourself. I gave you the keyword to search. Clover works way better than grass because it doesn't need to get cut. Clover goes
doesn't need fertilizer, so you're not like putting too much nitrogen or like phosphorus into waterways because it's it just doesn't need as much fertilizer. So
right. Yes. Mulch, obviously, doing some shrub beds.
Yeah.
Everybody likes a good rock. Rocks always look good. Here's a fun little word to learn about: Xeriscaping, which is the term for doing landscaping specifically in drought climates, such as in our picture we have here. Again, it's not about the aesthetics; it's about the environment and environmental justice. But you can't tell me that would look better with a lawn on it. Yes, and then vegetable gardens, I just feel like I had to mention because, of course, you should also, if possible, consider vegetable gardens. But that's a whole nother thing that I did not have time to go into on this.
No, I understand. Yeah. And there's also a lot of like native plants, which could look pretty and you could eat. Like there's crossovers. In fact, grasses, like wheat is a grass. Like I'm not saying you should grow wheat in your front lawn, but like I think we have there's a lot of these that could be like used for a lot of different things. If you were in Colorado and you want to grow some cactus in your front yard and then eat it, then like go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
I assume everybody in that part of the country is just munching on cactus all the time.
Hell yeah. They just eat it all the time.
What else do we have here? Oh, so this is because we're in a paper that is talking about city planning. I had to consider like where does that fit into, because we know lawns are bad, cities are full of green spaces. So how do we fit that into the larger question? And I don't remember all of the details of what I talked about here, or if they're on the next slide. But the basic understanding you have to remember is that like green spaces in cities are not great. They are better than personal lawns. It is very hard to compare them because you know how many people a lawn is servicing, as opposed to something like the Boston Common, which is lawn-like, but it is a communal space. So like you may be getting enough out of that in terms of the number of people using it that justifies usage of it. So it's a little hard to say for sure. So Somerville did an interesting thing recently where they have a native planting ordinance where 100% of the community paths, the green line extension, the river walk, that has to all be native species.
Hell yeah.
75% of public parks need to be a native species, and then 50% of bioswales. Oh, hold on. Now I just lost my.
No, it's okay.
Oh, here I am. 50% of bioswales, plazas, streetscapes, and other city-owned property has to be native plants. The problem with having all native plants all the time everywhere is, guess what? We fucked things up pretty bad so far at this point. So there are a lot of native plants that will not be able to thrive in the environments we have already created. So we're going to have to compensate by keeping some green space with non-native plants, probably plants from a hotter climate because of the way things are going.
Yeah.
But it is good to when possible, encourage as much local plants as possible.
Ooh. Oh no, the picture.
That's what I got. So this is from a paper that I used a little bit of their guidance on the 7 lamps for planning biodiversity in the city. I cannot remember what all of these are, but these are the things that we should be thinking about when we're thinking about green spaces in the city. We should be thinking about protection, connectivity, construction, cycles, interaction, benevolence, and novelty. So basically, you want to have everything protected. You want things to be different areas to be close enough together, like connectivity and interactions, where animals aren't going to stay in one of the parks. You want them to be able to move to park. You want butterflies and birds to be able to cross-pollinate between different parks in the area. Construction and interaction and things like that. You want to. There's been plenty of cases where an area is built to cater to certain birds or certain insects or something, and then it's just like too close to a major highway, and the noise pollution is scaring them off. So you have to think about how that connectivity relates. Cycles, obviously, there are different plant and animal cyclical cycles, so you have to make sure that things are serving different things at different times. Again, I'm being very broad because I did this a long time ago and I don't remember all of the things.
That's okay.
And then novelty. A good green space should be providing something that the other green spaces around it are not providing. So those are things to consider. This slide has very little to do with our friends at home. This is mostly for the nerds sitting in the class with me that I have to lecture them about being better, about how considerate they are. So because half of them are just going to go on to work for some market developer and just make things worse. It is a crisis to be in a class and try to figure out who the good people and bad people are in city planning.
Really?
But
or you could take over a park. You could forcibly seize a park and then keep all of these things in mind as you're planting it.
Yes.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah. And then what else do we have here? Oh, here's a chance for optimism. These are in Alston, Brighton.
Oh, yeah.
The one on the left here is a before and after picture of a pollinator garden that was put on an embankment that otherwise was kind of whatever. And then the second one, I believe, is at like either a low income or a retirement home where the residents like having all these plants outside, and that space is used to help the bees have a place, and the birds and the butterflies have a place to do some pollination.
Hell yeah.
So the pollinator gardens, Alston Brighton, I think that might be their name, but they're doing more and more work, and that's a type of thing that we should be encouraging. What's next? Oh, these are just other things in different. I believe the one on the left is in the Netherlands, where an old castle has been left to just be retaken over by nature. So it has by not touching it and letting things grow as they would grow, it's actually become a pretty viable tourist destination because people are fascinated by it. And then on the right, you have like a bus stop area or an area of the sidewalk where they just have enough green space in between. There are very interesting ways in which we can integrate the environment back into our urban areas. So that's what I unlike the show, I really can't end my presentations about how, hey, things look awful and we're all fucked. So I try to come up with some things to give people a chance to think, hey, how can we imagine a better future?
That's good. We need some more optimism in this world. But yeah, I think people underestimate how much water just like leaves from pavement. And I think there's some spaces in Chelsea or like a few areas in East Boston where like the pavement is supposed to be absorbable. I don't know how well it works to like really fix issues of like water like, flooding, or even, like making sure water flows from places, we'll probably need all the pavement to be absorbable, so that
we just want that good wet pavement.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, if you had it in these sort of like these lines of grass as they do here, that makes it easier to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know if there's any more slides.
Let's no, we did it.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right. I hope you all give me an A+.
Of course, I'll give you an A+. But also, in the revolution, there are no grades. So we have a few moments left. Should we do?
Yeah, let's cut to a commercial.
Okay, let's do. Yeah.
What kind of pizza do you like, Jesse? Jesse, what kind of pizza? Pepperoni.
What kind of pizza do you like, Jesse?
I have to assume that's from El Camino, which I have not seen yet. Which I don't know what I'm waiting on. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I love Breaking Bad.
I haven't seen Breaking Bad at all, honestly.
Oh yeah, it is a.
It's like you in The Sopranos, how you just
right.
don't see it.
Right, because I'm Italian and I'm missing out on my culture, and you are a meth dealer, so we're both missing out on our culture. So I don't know if anybody in the comments has something they want us to talk about. Please get it going. I think the thing that has been, it seems like in the news the most in the recent days, has been the primetime January 6th television show.
Oh yeah.
Americans aren't interested in anything, so they're like, hey, what if we turn this into a limited series?
What an embarrassment. It is God, I don't like, it would be cool if the trial were helpful, but it doesn't. I heard that they're not even trying to like get people for crimes, or like they're not.
They've already said that they're not going to suggest charges on anybody.
What a worthless fucking country. Worthless.
Why? What is any of this for? What do you think?
God, yeah, no, it's just bad. It's just bad. Like, I don't. But I guess people are watching it. One thing one person said is apparently Marjorie Taylor Greene is as dumb as she acts on TV. Like one person was like, oh, like based on her text, like she said like peach tree dish, and like remember when she said gazpacho instead of Gestapo?
Yes, that was a great moment in politics. Saying that she was
only good Marjorie Taylor Greene moment. Yeah, it's so like that seems really bad. Mm-hmm. It's like funny but sad. Like if this were happening, if it were actually a scripted television series, it'd be hilarious. But this is actually happening to us in this world, and that is awful.
Yeah, it just seems like, and I don't think this is one that just came to my head. I believe I heard somebody else make this. But it just seems like the Democrats are just sort of like complaining to the refs.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna try to do anything. They're just like gonna complain about how the other people are not following the rules. And in order for that to like matter, you have to assume that somebody cares about the rules.
No one cares about the rules.
Nobody cares about the rules especially because you've been using the rules as a reason for the last nearly 2 years why nothing good can be done. You can't do anything right because of the rules. But then also the Republicans broke the rules. Yeah. So who cares? Why don't you just break the rules then?
Yeah, like rules are stupid. God, what a farce. I haven't even been watching. I haven't even been watching like the January 6th stuff because I feel like I'd probably.
Because you are an adult who has good things to do in their life.
Well, arguably, I don't know if I have that many good things to do with my life, but like it just, I don't know. Yeah. It just seems to be sad all around. Someone should just like punch people in the face. Like I feel like that will bring more justice than like this trial. That's the sad part. Like that. I don't know. Anyway.
It's dumb. It's miserably bad. It's
miserable. It's 9. We maybe have time for like one. Kendra objectively busy. That's me. We have time for like one more thing.
I don't. Do you have a thing? I don't have a thing.
I mean, all of my things are like sad. Oh, there's been a rumor about Lauren Boebert, which like I feel like this rumor isn't true. Oh, cool. Okay, I feel like this rumor isn't true, but there's a rumor that she was an escort or a sex worker and she had an abortion with Ted Cruz's kid. I feel like that is not true. However, I'm going to tell people that rumor because Lauren Boebert is Boebert. I don't even know if I'm saying her name. She's like objectively a bad person, and I don't care about her being hurt. So
yes, the Ted Cruz's kid part is probably what like that's just like some like blue wave person who's like writing their own like scandal fan fiction.
Yeah,
like, that's like a step too far for it. It's just too. It's like in a movie where like, oh, the killer was this person we saw at the very beginning. Like that's too coincidental, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, but of course we could also just talk about how Lauren Boebert has the restaurant that gave everybody diarrhea, and her husband is a sex criminal.
Yeah, I know there's true things to talk about her, like to like offend her. I guess like whenever something like this comes out, people are mostly surprised by like the hypocrisy of it, right? Or like, I mean, it's probably not true, but if like, you know, she's very anti-abortion, if she did get an abortion, then it's like, oh, that's, you know, that's hypocritical. But there's plenty of real things to talk to her about. Right. I do like.
Also, nobody cares about hypocrisy anymore.
That's also true. If it makes her mad to spread the rumor, then I'll do it. Mm-hmm. But like, there's also true things,
right?
That are bad.
We can also spread rumors about Lauren Boebert that are just like not that are not you know, anti-sex worker. We can.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. What's a Lauren Boebert? Her feet smell like cheese. She has permanent, like weird feet smelling cheese. Yeah. Lauren Boebert took one hit off of a joint and then started acting crazy, like she was really high, but she wasn't.
She wasn't. Yeah.
Lauren Boebert is a fake goth. Lauren
Boebert is a fucking phony.
If
you want to make Lauren Boebert actually mad, say that she's fake MAGA.
Oh yeah, no, she's fake MAGA. She's just an
absolutely fake MAGA.
I have like sources from myself that she is fake MAGA and she's just in it for the money.
Yes.
So, and then someone should repeat that and it should play on Fox. Yeah. Anyway,
right.
I think we could wrap up now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you everyone for watching. Thanks. Oh, Lauren Boebert doesn't own a bed frame. She is like some fuckboy that just fucks on the couch. That's Lauren Boebert. So thank you all for watching. Please stick around for Rachel Jane Andelman's honorable mentions at 9:30. And Zach, do you have any closing remarks for today?
Don't fuck this up, Boston Celtics. Come on. Don't fuck it up for me.
Very, very sports based. All right. Thank you, everyone. And
there's no show after.
Oh, never mind.
Stick around.
So it's fine. Stick around.
Go watch something else. Go clear out your Netflix queue.
Yeah. Take a shower. Connect with your loved ones. Have a great day.
All right.